Turn it up.
And hopefully the brain attached to the mouth, right? The brain, more important than the mouth, is the brain. The brain is much more important.
He is the brain, and I am the mouth. And that's exactly what it is. All right. How are we doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. Witchcraft and torture. Wait till you hear what I'm going to read to you tonight. And we're going to be continuing on with our education into the personality and character of our God, which is going to transform us. Let's do this. All right, how are we tonight? How you doing? Man, oh man. Yeah, crazy stuff I'm going to read to you tonight. You need to hear. Let me straighten this up, make sure we don't have any accidents with the noise. And I do want to get something going right here. Let's try this one out. Check this out. This is from a book entitled The Rape of the Mind. How is everybody? Mickey B. You know, it warms my heart when I see all of you. And here, we'll tune this down a little bit while I do this part. The Viper. Hey, I got your message on the video. I think that was from yesterday. Yeah, can you believe, man? It's like 800 and something views and only 2 comments on it. And that's just because people don't really. They watch live, you know. My show is about the live experience. I moved my camera, by the way. Hopefully I can make a little more eye contact with you, you know. Who we got in here? Carlos de la Villa. Susan Sawyer. Cynthia Albertson, Mickey B. How's it going? Marty Mouse. What's up? Deborah Bundra. See, we're a family, and it's so neat. You know, Susan Sawyer. That's it. Renee Beard. How are you? Debbie Karen. Yeah, you know, it's nice. Like when Carlos first came in, he said, "Hey, Sean, God bless you." Isn't that nice? I love hearing that kind of stuff. Anyway, before we get started, let's do look at this. You know, if you haven't heard yet, we developed a product, and it's basically developed for me to be able to tolerate what I'm inflicted with. And, you know, this is a great image right here because it's defend, defy, and destroy. That is what we create this stuff for. And the reports that we are getting from, you see, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you any medical advice. I can't diagnose or treat or anything like that. But I can tell you what other people have said. And I can tell you that we have designed these products to stop certain ills. And according to what people say, not only are we stopping nocturnal leg cramps at night, muscle pain, and restless leg syndrome, we are stopping herpes 1 and genital herpes. We are stopping shingles. We are causing a swollen prostate to decrease in size so that it's easier to go to the bathroom at night for men. Neuropathy pain. We have treated that, and not treated, given it to so many people, and so many people are getting relief. Go to getspasmfree.com. Later, we'll have people call in. If anyone wants to call in, we'll do that later, but not right now, and talk about their experience with it, because it'll blow you away. I mean, folks, the title of this video is Witchcraft and Torture and the End of Everything. Everything is about to end. I'm not saying the world is going to end. I'm saying that everything as we know it is going to change. We have to. And there's going to be new natural treatments that are going to be able to take care of the ills of people, because mankind has been holding people like myself and others back. We can't, if we discover a cure for something, do you realize that I cannot tell anyone? I can't use it. I can't do anything with it. Why is that? So, if I will say this, and just a side point before we get to the witchcraft and torture. I'm trying to develop a group of medical personnel, people that are willing to come forward and try to push for not only, you got right to try legislation where if you're dying, you can try it. That's why they're trying the jab out. It's a trial. Trial means to try. But I would like to see legislation passed that would make it possible for not only your right to try pharmaceuticals, but your right to try and my right to say that we found a cure for something. Right now we can't. We don't know if what we're stopping is curing. We are not doctors, right? So I said that. So, but we are stopping these things. Tiger X specifically is causing people to have better eyesight. Tiger X has an energy in it that is like coffee energy with no jitters. It doesn't last long, but man, is it refreshing. The focus is absolutely out of this world, and the pain management, the daily pain management is incredible with Tiger X. I take 6 to 9 a day throughout the day. Spasm free. I do it once a day. I used to do it twice. Not even really hardly ever do it now because of the Tiger X. See, the Tiger X is supposed to be the maintenance to make it where you don't have to take spasm free. So the powders to drink at night, there are treatments out there that people sell, like you've seen them on Fox, $17.99 for a 3-week trial, and they say after 3 weeks your pain will be gone. Well, you don't have to wait days. You don't have to wait weeks. We're talking seconds and minutes. Spasm free of the powder, destroy. Yeah, it does within minutes. It will start to diminish pain. In some cases, nocturnal leg cramps, restless leg syndrome, gone. Tiger X, defy. That's where you're going to defy the laws of what's normal, and you're going to be better. Defend. That is those capsules. It's the exact same formula as the spasm-free super, but it's in capsule form. That's why when you need the boost throughout the day, and sometimes you may want to take that at night. But what this is getting oxygen into your body, into those muscles. Viruses, they don't do well under that. So let's get this started, and I'll stop talking about that. Go to getspasmfree.com, and we'll get on it. Papa Mac. Sonia Sinzi said, if you follow God's guidelines and what to eat, we wouldn't have the problems we have. Well, that would be true if there was no such thing as glyphosate, Roundup, and in all of our food. So you think you're eating kosher, you think you're eating a certain way, when really you're ingesting the thing that's causing all the problems too. We all are. Anyway, Mountaintop Alternatives, we are the only company specifically dedicated to the purpose of providing the body with the things it is deficient from because of glyphosate. We are proponents of glycine, and that's what we work with. Yolanda. So, witchcraft and torture. Notice that I'm reading without my glasses. How is that possible? I'm just saying. I just told you how it's possible. Witchcraft and torture. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. It's like more comfortable than my glasses. The specific techniques used in the modern world to break man's mind. Here you go. You got to hear it like this. Witchcraft and torture. The specific techniques used in the modern world to break man's mind and will, his mind and his will, and to exhort confessions for political propaganda. I gotta put them on now. I can't do it. They're getting better. It's getting better, but it's not there yet. I can't, not in this late. Sorry. But hey, you need to know, today, my eyes are better than they were yesterday. Thank you. Thank you. Papa Mac asked for the PayPal link to be posted. Thank you, Papa. We're in desperate need of support. And you know, if you don't have muscle issues, please support us on PayPal. Thank you, Frederick. Thank you. Witchcraft and torture. The specific techniques used in the modern world to break man's mind and will and to extort confessions for political propaganda purposes are relatively new and highly refined. That's why you will see Jimmy Kimmel and all these people go on TV and say that they are racists. They confess. From time immemorial, tyrants and dictators have needed these voluntary confessions to justify their own evil deeds. The knowledge that the human mind can be influenced, tamed, and broken down into servility is far older than the modern dictatorial concept of enforced indoctrination. The primitive shaman used awe-inspiring ritual to bring his victim into such a state of fright hypnosis. Oh, Deborah Bundra, I haven't gone to my post office box in a couple of days. Actually, I went day before yesterday. Yesterday. So it hasn't come yet. Sorry to interrupt. I just saw that. I won't interrupt myself anymore. Fright hypnosis. Fright hypnosis. Dissonance of the mind. Remember we talked about that when we have dissonance, where we see a sexual image and we see something that makes us angry at the same time. So we have dissonance between these emotions, and this is the idea of fright hypnosis. The primitive shaman used awe-inspiring ritual to bring his victim into such a state of fright hypnosis that he yielded to all suggestions. the native on whom a spell of doom has been cast by the medicine man may become so hypnotized by his own fear that he simply sits down, accepts his fate, and dies. Melonitsky. So this is really about POWs and getting them to renounce America. Happened in the Korean War, Vietnam War. This stuff happens. POWs. And they torture them and they mind control them. And what those camps were experimental playgrounds for what we are dealing with today. This is very, very serious. And if you can't listen to me read this, if you don't have the patience or whatever, if you can't handle having me talk like this and it's too boring, then you need to leave and you're not ready for the fight, because you need to hear this stuff if you want to be able to combat it. Throughout history, men have had an intuitive understanding that the mind can be manipulated. Elaborate strategies have been worked out to achieve this end. Ecstasy rituals, frightening masks, loud noises, eerie chants, all have been used to compel the crowd to accept the beliefs of their leaders. Even if an ordinary man at first resists a cruel shaman or medicine man, the hypnotizing ritual gradually breaks his will. More painful methods are not new either. When we study the old reports of the Inquisition or of the many witch trials, both in Europe and America, we learn a great deal about these methods. The floating test is one example. Those accused of witchcraft were thrown into the river, their feet and hands tied together. If the body did not sink, the victim was immediately pulled out of the water and burned at the stake. The fact that he did not sink was proof positive of his guilt. If, on the other hand, the accused obeyed the law of gravity and sank to the bottom of the river, the drowned body was ceremoniously removed from the river and proclaimed innocent. Not much choice was left to the victim. Man has been tremendously inventive in developing means for inflicting suffering on his fellow man. Sound familiar? With refined, remember, what I started reading off was people do this for political gains. This is happening right now. And TikTok is a major player in this. With refined passion, he has devised techniques which provoke the most inquisitive pain in the most vulnerable parts of the human body. The rack and the thumb screw are age-old instruments and have been used not only by primitive judges, but also by so-called civilized dictators and tyrants. And now what they use is blackmail. They understand. Blackmail is the tool because a man wants to protect his name. In order better to understand modern mental torture, we must constantly keep in mind the fact that from the earliest days, bodily anguish, wear that mask. And the rack were never meant merely to inflict pain on the victim. They may not have expressed their understanding in sophisticated terms, but the medieval judge and hangman were nevertheless aware that there is a peculiar peculiar, couldn't say it, spiritual relationship and mental interplay between the victim and the rest of the community. Do I need to read that again? You may not think so, but I'll do it anyway. In order to better understand modern mental torture, we must constantly keep in mind the fact that from the earliest days, bodily anguish and the rack were never meant merely to inflict pain on the victim. They may not have expressed their understanding in sophisticated terms, but the medieval judge and hangman were nevertheless aware that there is a peculiar spiritual relationship and mental interplay between the victim and the rest of the community. Much painful torture and hanging had to be done as public demonstrations. General Flynn, going after him, that was a public display of what they would do to you if you even attempted to do anything. That is Cain. That's what Cain does, right? You go up against Cain, you slap him, he's going to punch you 50 times. See? Much painful torture and hanging had to be done as public demonstrations. After suffering the most intense pain, the witch would not only confess to shocking sexual debaucheries with the devil, but would herself gradually come to believe the stories she had invented and would die convinced of her guilt. The whole guilt. Man, how much guilt are you convinced of every day that you don't need to suffer with? I'm suffering with so much guilt that I don't need to. We were delivered from that guilt. And I'm not talking about chastening of the Holy Spirit and conviction and all that. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about hating yourself because of your skin color. I'm talking about being guilty for feeling guilty because you're you and people don't like you. Mwah. You people are the only people that like me. If you were to be around me, you wouldn't like me. I guess that's what happens. The whole ritual of interrogation and torture finally compelled her to yield to the fantasies of her judges and accusers. In the end, the witch even yearned for death. She wanted to be burned at the stake in order to exorcise the devil and expiate her sins. Take the jab. Oh, I got it. Look, you jackass. Sorry if I'm offending you, but this is mind control. I mean, I know that some of you got it, and you know who I'm talking to. You didn't make a display about it. You didn't do that. You were, it's different. It's not the same as these mindless people. It's not the same. What you did is not the same. These people are like, it's a religion to them. It's different. These same judges and hangmen realized, too, that their witch trials were intended not only to torture the witches, but even more so to torture the bystanders, who, albeit unconsciously, identified themselves with the victims. This is, of course, one of the reasons. You see, let me stop here. There is so much in the world as far as the way of legalism, calling like a man has got no, I don't care how spiritually mature and Christ-like a man is. His mind has the propensity to be in the gutter. I don't care. That is his struggle. But all of the stuff that is talked about all the time in the patriot community, I'm telling you, when you allow yourself to be exposed to so much evil all the time, your heart will become evil. That this exposure to certain conspiracies and things that people tell, this too is part of the mind control. What had people do what they did on the 9th, storming the Capitol, some of them, but not all of them, most of them, were part of crowd manipulation. Just, Trump didn't do it. They did it. The same judges and hangmen realized the torture was for the bystanders. Not so much for the victim, but the bystanders. They unconsciously identified themselves with the victims. This is, of course, one of the reasons burnings and hangings were held in public and became the occasions for great pageants. Terror thus became widespread, and many judges spoke euphemistically of the preventative action of such torture. Psychologically, we can see this entire device as a blackmailing of human sympathy and the general tendency to identify with others. Did that just put into perspective the entire mind control operation? As far back as 1563, the courageous Dutch physician Johannes Weir published his masterwork, De Prestigious Demon. De Prestigious Demonum. It is on the delusions about demons, in which he states that the collective and voluntary self-accusation of older women, through which they exposed themselves to torture and death by their inquisitors, was in itself an act inspired by the devil, a trick of demons whose aim it was to doom not only the innocent women, but also their reckless judges. Weir was the first medical man to introduce what became the psychiatric concept of delusion and mental blindness. The concept of delusion and mental blindness. Does it sound familiar? Malcolm Clark. Don't ever call a bailiff a jerk. Don't ever call a bailiff a jerk. Hey, is that music too loud? Tell me. Beautiful Stranger said if women would respect themselves the way Yah intended, men's minds wouldn't. If women dressed to advertise, men wouldn't. Let's see, I cut it off. I'm sorry. Let me look at the right one. If women would respect themselves the way Yah intended, men's minds wouldn't be in the gutter. Oh, yes, they would. Women dressed to advertise their bodies, then get pissed if someone points it out. Yep. Thank you, Debbie Karen. Says the music is not too loud. Notice he says collective. He's talking about everybody. So as far back as 1563, the courageous Dutch physician Johannes Weir published in his masterwork on the delusions about demons, in which he states that the collective and voluntary self-accusation of older women. This has happened in men. He's not just talking about women. He's just pointing out the study. The study is that people are manipulated to confess something, to believe something, to confess, I need this mask. I need it to live. The Viper said, so what does that say for Amish women? I know. It's not about women, ladies and gentlemen. It's about sin. Women could dress any way they want, and we would undress them. It doesn't matter. If you don't realize that, you're a fool. You know, don't do it. It doesn't matter how women dress. It doesn't matter. They're still beautiful, and they still look beautiful undressed. And I'm just saying that man's tendency is to undress them in his mind. So it doesn't matter what they are wearing, is all I'm saying. Donnelly and Gwen. Oh my goodness. Is she starting it again? Oh, no, she's good. Donnelly and Gwen, you know where her mind goes. You know I'm kidding. Seems it's class or trash, hardly anything in between. Bucknerian, you can turn the music volume up even. It's good in my ears, so. On the delusions about demons, in which he states that the collective, that means everybody, involuntary self-accusation, like accusing yourself of racism, implanting memories, making you feel guilty for something you didn't do, is called gaslighting. The collective and voluntary self-accusation of older women, through which they exposed themselves to torture and death by their inquisitors. You know, an abused woman will stay in a relationship because she is made to believe something by the man. It's beat into her. Monica Beach. Please tell me it's beach and not biatch. It's beach, Monica. Monica Beach. Don't stop it. Don't go there. I just wanted to make sure she wasn't playing a joke. I mean, it would be kind of a funny joke if it was Monica Biatch. Some people will do that kind of thing. It's not me. I see it all the time. Like people like bad bitch. People put that in their tagline, their name. So is it beach, Monica? B-E-C-H. Could you just tell me that so I don't keep, so this doesn't live rent-free in my head for the next few days? It's like, oh my gosh, I just mispronounced her name and I called her a biatch. Donnelly and Gwen. I have come to love that laughing face. Hold on. I can't see it to do. Hold on. Yeah, oh, there it is. Like, I like to do this, right? Let's see if I can do it. Like, I love these now. They're the funnest things. I know it's stupid. I know I'm silly. I know. I gotta be silly every once in a while. Yeah, that's funny, Malcolm. He's like, there's that self-guilt kicking in, Sean. You're feeling guilty. Bucknerian says, beach. Oh, wait. Did she answer? She said, okay, wait. She's like, you're so bad. Okay. All right. Monica says, you're so bad. And Monica, born Monica and Biatch. Or Beach. I'm kidding. Beach. I'm kidding. I had to do it. I mean, I couldn't help myself. I couldn't. See, look at all this. Y'all are cutting up. Debbie Carlin says, don't you call me a bitch. Don't call me Beach. Because sometimes we'll say like, that sheet, man, that's some crazy ass sheet. And that Beach, I'm telling you. Wait, Bucknerian, what'd he do? Beach is a great last name. It is a great last name. Monica, you know we love you. I mean, how much did I do this? Monica Beach. I only serenade people I love. Marty Mouse, Donnelly Ann Gwynn, Frederick Newcomb, Malcolm Clark, Deborah Bundra, Cynthia Albertson, Debbie Caron, Bucknerian, the Viper. You know, I'm singing everybody. I gotta do it. I'm embarrassed. Yeah, guilt. Yeah. Like that's where. See, that's where calling the bailiff a jerk came from. I mean, it came from the same place that just made me sing everybody's name. Like, what is that? Monica, please don't tell me that I've upset you. Monica Beach said, I love you. You're so wrong. Laugh out loud. That's funny. Sunny beaches. This is great. Yeah, see? Yolanda. You know, it's like Deborah Bunger, the syllables. How do you do it? Debbie, Bobebby, Banana, Fana, Pofebby, me, my, Momebby, Deborah, Bobedra, me, my, Momedra. You know, Deborah, Malcolm, me, my, Malcolm. Banana, Fana, Fofalcom, me, my, Malcolm. Banana, Fana, Fofalcom, Malcolm. Donna, Bobana, Banana, Fana, Fofana, me, my, Mamana, Donna. They're like, what the heck is this guy doing? This is supposed to be a serious YouTube channel. This is supposed to be about witchcraft and demonic sheet. And Sean's up there acting like a beach. Monica, see what you started with your name? Monica says, no. My skin is not that thin. I'm strong. Bucknerian said, Yolanda was one of my first dates. Yolanda. Yolanda, what's happening, baby? Want to go have some dinner tonight, Yolanda? Looking mighty fine over there, Yolanda. Hey, can I have your number? Was that what it's like, what's your name? Oh, Yolanda. Hey, what's up? I'm Bucknerian. Cracker Barrel Kid 55's that's right. That means he's a Cajun. That's right. Yes, Lake des Almas. Going in the Piro. We don't need the big boat. the Viper. It's the sandy look of your hair, Beach. Yolanda says, you guys are crazy. You guys are cray-cray. Okay, let's do this. So I'll get back to it. I apologize. Anyway, while we're doing this, I'll just, consider getting this. Great. Now let's go on. The self-accusation of women, though which they exposed themselves to torture and death by their inquisitors, was in itself an act inspired by the devil, a trick of demons, whose aim it was to doom not only the innocent women, but also their reckless judges. Weir was the first medical man to introduce what became the psychiatric concept of delusion and mental blindness. Wherever his book had influence, the persecution of witches ceased. In some countries, more than 150 years before it was finally brought to an end throughout the civilized world. His work and his insights became one of the main instruments for fighting the witch delusion and actually using it. He's leaving that out. He's leaving that out. Folks, as I read in Isaiah yesterday, where, I'm sorry to cover my face with that, but as I see it like, I know we're past it where you are, but I see it on the screen like 20 seconds or how long after, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I did this. Sorry about that. You need to know, folks, that something very terrible is about to happen. And I don't want to be a fearmonger, for sure. And I don't want to like be an alarmist. But you know it's true. I'm not talking to people who don't understand why I'm saying it. Get your stuff in order. Get your stuff in order. Make sure you have plenty of water. Water is going to be the most important thing. It's going to be more important than food, folks. Water. People are going to kill each other for water. Thank you, Frederick Newcomb. He says, if you would like to support this channel and possibly win a 10-ounce silver bar, you can enter that drawing if you spend $44 at Mountaintop Alternatives on anything up to 44 and over, or you can go, if you give on PayPal, please consider giving on PayPal. Malcolm Clark says, don't be sorry. We love it. We love you. Thank you. And love you. Thank you. Thank you. That's just so nice, you know? And, but someone needs to hear what I'm about to read right now. Listen very carefully. You're afraid. Someone is afraid. And when they're afraid, this is what they need to hear. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. This is Psalm 91. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. For it is he who delivers you from the snare of the trapper, the gaslighter, the manipulator, and from the deadly pestilence. For it is God who delivers you from the snare of the trapper and from the deadly pestilence. That if you follow God's word, it's going to be a light unto your path. And you're going to see where you can walk, and you're not going to step in the traps of the evil one. And the heartache and the disease and things that come about from living a certain way, because you follow the word of God, you're not going to deal with those. Specifically here at the end, when we're using God's word as a guide map or a guide as we move through this situation. And you need to know that it's about to start getting ugly. And when it does, if you panic, you're going to die. If you panic, you're going to die. You need to cling to the Lord and say to the Lord, you are my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. He's going to be your source of trust. He's going to be your information. Nothing you see is real. Nothing. There's only one thing real in this world: the ground under your feet and this. For it is he who delivers you from the snare of the trapper and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you may seek refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and a bulwark. You will not be afraid of the terror by night, or of the arrow that flies by day, of the pestilence that stalks in darkness, or of the destruction that lays waste at noon. You are going to be faced with terror. You must not be afraid. You are going to see stuff in the skies. You must turn away. Don't get trapped up in it. I don't care who is standing on any cloud. I don't care what you see in that sky. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Because it ain't going to happen that way. You will not be afraid of the terror by night, or of the arrow that flies by day, of the pestilence that stalks in darkness, or of the destruction that lays waste at noon. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not approach you, believer. It will not approach you. I told a bailiff, I called a bailiff in a courtroom full of people with a judge. I called him a jerk, and I did not go to jail. It was close, and I was shaken. I was shaken, but the Lord delivered me out of it. I was in the belly of the beast, surrounded by lions, and he kept their mouths shut, and I walked out of that courtroom. Could have thrown me in jail. You will only look on with your eyes. You will only look, You will only look on with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked. For you won't, they won't come near you. You'll see them at a distance, and that's it. You won't face any of this stuff. You will only look on with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked. For you have made the Lord my refuge, even the Most High your dwelling place. No evil will befall you, nor will any plague come near your house. For he will give his angels charge concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. They will bear you up in their hands, that you do not strike your foot against a stone. We know that that's foreshadowing Christ, but this is to you, ladies and gentlemen. We identify with him in everything. You will tread upon the lion and cobra, the young lion and the serpent you will trample down. Because he has loved me, therefore I will deliver him. Because God loved me, he will deliver me. Because God loves you, if you love him, if you're in the family, he will deliver you. If you don't love him and you're not in the family, he will not deliver you. That is the implications of what he's saying. Because he loved me, therefore I will deliver him, says the Lord. I will set him securely on high, because he has known my name. Known my name. Known my name. I tell you, having a relationship with the Lord is not a requirement for salvation. To have a deep, deep relationship with the Lord, a relationship is required. Salvation is by faith and grace alone. But he will call upon me, and I will answer him. This is the Lord talking. I, the Lord, will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him. With a long life, I will satisfy him and let him see my salvation. Man, bless you, Lord. We're not finished with that. We'll come back. Bless you. Bless you, Lord. Folks, here at Mountaintop Alternatives, the show is The War Drummer, but our company is called Mountaintop Alternatives. We have developed a miracle, or I should say a miracle has been given to us, that we can end your nocturnal leg cramps, your Charlie horses at night. We can end your restless leg syndrome. We can stop it. We can't cure it. We can stop it. We can stop your herpes outbreaks. We can't cure it. We can only manage it. We can stop your shingle outbreaks and your neuropathy pain. We can't cure it, but we can manage it. I'm not a doctor. I can't give any medical advice or diagnoses. However, I can tell you that we have some seriously satisfied customers. Prostates that are shrinking at night. Infections in the mouth being treated, gone away. And it's not mouthwash, it's where this stuff is in your blood. However, I will tell you that I put a teaspoon of Spasm Free in a glass, and I put just a couple of drops of water and I made it into a paste, and I brushed my teeth with it. You can do that too. It's got some baking soda in it. You can do that and get the benefits in your mouth of what you would get if you were to drink it. And Lord Tepper says, gonna grab my cats and flight to Jesus's wedding feast. Isn't it going to be awesome? Anyway, go to getspasmfree.com. Lots of sales going on right now. If you spend $44 or more, you'll be entered to win a 10-ounce silver bar. And we're gonna draw that name on July 4th. And it's 10 ounces. That's probably close. I'll have to look out what it's worth right now. Let me see something. Where's mine? Okay, Google. How much is silver right now? Okay, Google. What's an ounce of silver worth today? $27.94 an ounce. So $27.94. Okay, Google. What's $27.94 times 10? Who can do it faster? Who can do it faster? $279.40. You could. I'm sorry. I'm such a dummy. Why did I even do that? What a dummy. So yeah, it's only worth $279.40, but that's still good, and it's silver. So yes, so spasm free, that's the bottom and the top, has 7 atoms of oxygen, not molecule is it's in the molecules that are used in spasm free. There's 7 atoms of oxygen. I don't even like saying it that way, but that is the right way. In Tiger X, there's 16 atoms of oxygen. And I saw that, Malcolm. I don't think it was right. Yeah. Frederick Newcomb says with premium, it's about $350. Yeah. 27, that's like what you could get at a... no, it hasn't gotten back yet, Malcolm. I have to go to my post office box, and there might be something there saying it. So I'll work on it, but I plan to send it back to you. So, if we go to Isaiah now, we were reading 22 yesterday, and we're going to do something a little different because we're not reading through Isaiah right now. We're going to do something a little different. We've read all this stuff once before, but I want to look at it again. Listen to this. Isaiah 10 for the 10th. You ready? This is wild. How does it relate to us? Check this out. This is crazy. Woe to those who enact evil statutes, government, and to those who constantly record unjust decisions, judges and bailiffs. Monica Beach says, just mix it up and drink quickly. Let's just do it. Deborah Drumbunger says baking soda. That's why it's so hard to take. We hate using that word, baking soda. It's sodium bicarbonate, but it's a special kind. It is large grain, and we use that for it to act as time release. Yeah, just mix it up and drink it quickly. Just do it. Just do it. Woe to those who enact evil and to those who constantly record unjust decisions so as to deprive the needy of justice. That's what was happening. That's what I saw in the man. This Lord, thank you. Thank you. He's patting me on the back right now. Woe to those who enact evil statutes and to those who constantly record unjust decisions. Karens. Yeah, Ronald Foose said, tried it cold. It is disgusting cold. You will not be able to drink that cold. It is disgusting. I heard people are putting it in their coffee. Putting it in their coffee. But hot is the way to go. The hotter, the better, if you can handle it. But you see, Tiger X is to make it where you don't have to drink it that often. So Deborah Bundra, she's going to get Tiger X. And she's not going to have to do that spasm-free stuff except every so often. The Tiger X is the maintenance thing. That is the one to keep you, to make it where you're all around good, which is going to affect your legs and your spasms and all kind of stuff. So, sorry, I'm getting off track. So as to deprive the needy of justice, these people. They deprive the needy of justice. They rob the poor of my people of their rights, so that widows may be their spoil, and that they may plunder the orphans. How many orphans in Canada were killed? Now what will you do in the day of punishment, and in the devastation that will come from afar? To whom will you flee for help? Listen to this. We're in trouble. This is how God spanks nations. This is his style. Don't look at it like he's talking to us. He is not. He is not. He is talking to Assyria, but we are seeing his style and what he is going to do to us. Now, what will you do in the day of punishment and in the devastation which will come from afar? To whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your wealth? Where will you leave your wealth? Nothing remains but to crouch among the captives. You're taken. To whom nothing remains but to crouch among the captives or fall among the slain. In spite of all this, his anger does not turn away, and his hand is still stretched out. So even though the terrible stuff is happening around us, God's hand is still saying, take it. Take it. All you got to do is take my hand. Take it. Take it. And I'll pull you through. You can turn from this any time, and I will take you out of it. Woe to Assyria, the rod of my anger. So he brings Assyria against Jerusalem, and he punishes, and that is punishment. That is punishment for, let me start over. He brings Assyria against Israel, and that is punishment against Israel. And then he punishes Assyria for going against Israel. He's God. He can do whatever he wants. Woe to Assyria, the rod of my anger, the one that he uses to strike people with. Woe to them. Woe to the rod, Assyria, the rod of my anger, and the staff in whose hands is indignation. I send it against the godless nation and commission it against the people of my fury, to capture booty and to seize plunder and to trample them down like mud in the streets. Yet it does not so intend, nor does it plan so in its heart, but rather it is its purpose to destroy and to cut off many nations. You got to listen to what I just read again. This is so like above us. Listen to this. Woe to Assyria, the rod of my anger, and the staff in whose hands is my indignation. I send it against a godless nation and commission it against the people of my fury, to capture booty and to seize plunder. What does it say? It says, I send it against a godless nation. I send Assyria. I send them in there to do something. Listen to this. To capture booty and seize plunder, and to trample them down like mud in the streets. Yet it, Assyria, that he sends in, does not so intend, like they don't know what they're going to do, nor does it plan so in its heart, but rather it is its purpose to destroy and to cut off many nations. They don't even know what they're doing. They're doing something. And what they are doing is exactly what God is having them do. That is what this is saying. For it says, are not my princes all kings? Or Hamath like Arphad? Or Samaria like Damascus? As my hand has reached to the kingdom of the idols, whose graven images were greater than those of Jerusalem and Samaria. Samaria shall I not do to Jerusalem and her images, just as I've done to Samaria and her idols? Ooh. She's saying that I'm going to do the same thing to you that I did to them. That is my nature. That is my style. And that is what I'm trying to show you. He's saying, listen, shall I not do to Jerusalem and her images, just as I've done to Samaria and her idols? So it will be that when the Lord has completed all his work on Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, he will say, I will punish the fruit of the arrogant heart of the king of Assyria and the pomp of his haughtiness. See? Is that nuts? He brings Assyria against these people, and then he punishes Assyria for coming against those people. What do you think about that? Is that like messed up or what? Not in a bad way. I'm just saying that we can't comprehend it. God is doing it all. I've tried to show you that he is the author and finisher of not just life and salvation, but of everything. Everything. And with what God is about to do, every single thing on this earth is about to change. Technology, medicine, vitamins, the way people live, everything. Some of it is going to be futuristic. Some of it is going to be horrible. Some of it's going to be awesome. Some of it's going to suck. And the Lord is going to come back soon and going to take care of it. Marty Moss says that is power ultimate. Yeah, he is the king, and he is moving these pieces like chess pieces. He is the true and only 4D chess player. The only. He shakes his fist at the mountain of the daughter of Zion, the hill of Jerusalem. So it will be. Wait. Where am I? So it will be that in that day the Lord has completed all his work on Mount Zion and on Jerusalem. He will say, I will punish the fruit of the arrogant heart of the king of Assyria and the pomp of his haughtiness. For he has said, by the power of my hand and by my wisdom I did this. For I have understanding, and I removed the boundaries of the peoples. Wow. Border. And I plundered their treasures. And like a mighty man, I brought down their inhabitants. And my hand reached to the riches of the peoples like a nest. And as one gathers abandoned eggs, I gathered all the earth. And there was not one that flapped its wing, or opened its beak, or chirped. Is the axe to boast itself over the one who chops with it? Woe! Is the saw to exalt itself over the one who wields it? That would be like a club wielding those who lift it, or like a rod lifting him who is not wood. Therefore the Lord, the God of hosts, see, if the king of Assyria wouldn't have said, I did this, but if he'd have said, God did this, he would have raised him up. Same with me, my gosh. If I wouldn't say, I done this, I did this, if you wouldn't say, I did this, I went far, I made this, I brought it this way. Spasm free was given to me by God. God has done this. Therefore the Lord, the God of hosts, among the king of Assyria's stout warriors. And under his glory, under the king of Assyria's glory, a fire will be kindled like a burning flame. And the light of Israel will become a fire, and his Holy One a flame. And it will burn and devour his thorns, the king of Assyria. It will burn and devour his thorns and his briars in a single day. And he will destroy the glory of his forest and of his fruitful garden, both soul and body. And it will be as when a sick man wastes away. And Joe Biden. It will be as though when a sick man wastes away, and the rest of the trees of his forest will be so small in number that a child could write them down. This country's gonna burn. Now, in that day, the remnant of Israel and those of the house of Jacob who have escaped and will never again rely on the one who struck them, but will truly rely on the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. A remnant will return, the remnant of Jacob, to the mighty God. For though your people, O Israel, may be like the sand of the sea, only a remnant within them will return. A destruction is determined, overflowing with righteousness. For a complete destruction, one that is decreed, the Lord God of hosts will execute in the midst of the whole land. Who is the destroyer? Who is the destroyer? who went through Egypt and killed all the firstborns of those whose doorposts were not marked with the lamb's blood? Who went through Egypt and killed all those children? The Lord. The Lord. Therefore, thus says the Lord God of hosts, O my people, who dwell in Zion, do not fear the Assyrian, who strikes you with the rod and lifts up his staff against you, the way Egypt did. For a very little while, my indignation against you will be spent, and my anger will be directed to their, Assyria, to their destruction. The Lord of hosts will arouse a scourge against him, like the slaughter of Midian at the rock of Oreb. And his staff will be over the sea, and he will lift it up the way he did in Egypt. So it will be in that day that his burden will be removed from your shoulders, and his yoke from your neck, and the yoke will be broken because of fatness. You're going to be healthy. He has come against Aiath, and he has passed through Migron. At Michmash he deposited his baggage. They have gone through the pass, saying, Geba will be our lodging place. Roma is terrified, and Gibeah and Saul has fled away. Cry aloud with your voice, O daughter of Galen. Pay attention, Lisha and wretched Anathoth. Madmenah has fled. The inhabitants of Gibeon have sought refuge. Yet today he will halt at Nob. He shakes his fist at the mountain of the daughter of Zion, the hill of Jerusalem. Behold, the Lord, the God of hosts, will lop off the bows of the terrible crash. Those also who are tall in stature will be cut down, and those who are lofty will be abased. He will cut down the thickets of the forest. I'm sorry, but I had to do it. He will cut down the thickets of the forest with an iron axe, and Lebanon will fall by the mighty one. Wow. Wow. Oh, I meant to put the chat back up there. I apologize. But consider go to getspasmfree.com, and we've got the first restless leg and muscle cramp management system in the world, and it is helping so many things. So many things. Spend $44 or more, and you'll be entered into a raffle to win a 10-ounce silver bar. Also, I will tell you that if you buy something that's less than $44 and you sign up with a subscription and you'll pay twice, I'll also put you in the drawing. Just so you know. I will do that. If you sign up with a subscription, meaning you'll pay twice, you'll pay the $24 eventually. So, Ezekiel 10 for today, the 10th. Wow. You ready for this? Then I looked, and behold, in the expanse that was over the heads of the cherubim, something like a sapphire stone, in appearance resembling a throne, appeared above them. This is the spaceship, God's chariot. God don't need a ship. No, he doesn't, but he's got style. So he travels in really one badass ship. It's the mothership. And he spoke to the man clothed in linen and said, enter between the whirling wheels under the cherubim, and fill your hands with coals to a fire from between the cherubim, and scatter them over the city. And he entered in my sight. Now the cherubim were standing on the right side of the temple when the man entered, and the cloud filled the inner court. Oh, man, I'm getting sleepy. It's about bedtime for me. Discover oxygen. Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it. Then the cherub stretched out his hand from between the cherubim to the fire which was between the cherubim, took some and put it into the hands of the one clothed in linen, who took it and went out. The cherubim appeared to have the form of a man's hand under their wings. Then I looked, and behold, 4 wheels beside the cherubim, 1 wheel besides each cherub, and the appearance of the wheels was like the gleam of a Tarshish stone. As for their appearance, all 4 of them had the same likeness, as if one wheel were within another wheel. A UFO, some kind of strange thing. When they moved, these are spiritual beings. When I say UFO, these are spiritual beings. When they moved, they went in any of their 4 directions without turning. They took right-angle turns as they went, but they followed in the directions which they faced without turning as they went. Their whole body, their backs, their hands, their wings, and their wheels were full of eyes all around, the wheels belonging to all 4 of them. The wheels were called, in my hearing, the whirling wheels, and each one had 4 faces. The first face was like the face of a cherub, a man. The second face, no, a cherub, sorry, that is not a man. It's a calf. It's a calf, sorry. The first face was that face of a cherub. The second face was the face of a man. The third face was the face of a lion. The fourth, the face of an eagle. These are the Gospels. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Then the cherub rose up. They are the living beings that I saw by the river Chebar, the first vision. It's insane to think, ladies and gentlemen, that there are living creatures in this other dimension that we call heaven. And these beings are around God's throne, and they are alive. If you were to cut them, they would bleed. They are living creatures. They are not spiritual creatures. They are not angels. They are living beings. They are alive. They are some kind of creature, species, heavenly species, creature, I don't know. But they are living. Now when the cherubim moved, the wheels would go beside them. Also when the cherubim lifted up their wings to rise from the ground, the wheels would not turn from beside them. It would go up, 2 with them. That's what it's saying. When the cherubim stood still, the wheels would stand still. Thank you, Frederick Newcomb. When the cherubim stood still, the wheels would stand still. And when they rose up, the wheels would rise with them. For the spirit of the living beings was in them, in the wheels. Then the glory of the Lord departed from the threshold of the temple and stood over the cherubim. When the cherubim departed, they lifted their wings and rose up from the earth in my sight with the wheels beside them. And they stood still at the entrance of the east gate of the Lord's house, and the glory of the God of Israel, hovered over them. These are the living beings that I saw beneath the God of Israel by the river Chebar, so I knew that they were cherubim. Each one had 4 faces, each one 4 wings, and each beneath their wings was the form of human hands. As for the likeness of their faces, they were the same faces whose appearance I had seen by the river Chebar. Each one went straight ahead. He's given his account of what he saw. That's wild right there. That is wild. Oh, again, I meant to put the chat back up. Hey, go to spasmfree.com. I don't have to have that up there, but go to spasmfree.com. There's so much that the stuff helps. So much. Get the Tower of Power. All 3 of our products. We got some new ones coming that are going to blow you away. New vitamins for a new earth. Vitamins that actually work. Can you believe it? Vitamins that actually work. If you would consider supporting us on PayPal, I'd be so grateful. Revelation 10 for the 10th. I saw another strong angel coming down out of heaven, clothed with a cloud, and the rainbow was upon his head, and his face was like the sun, and his feet like pillars of fire. And he had in his hand a little book, which was open. He placed his right foot on the sea, and his left on the land. And he cried out with a loud voice, as when a lion roars, and when he had cried out, the 7 peals of thunder uttered their voices. When the 7 peals of thunder had spoken, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying, "Seal up the things which the 7 peals of thunder have spoken, and do not write them." He was going to write down in this, and the thunder said, and the Lord stopped him right there. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Then the angel whom I saw standing on the sea and on the land lifted up his hand, his right hand to heaven, and swore by him who lives forever and ever, who created heaven and the things in it, and the earth and the things in it, and the sea and the things in it, and there will be delay no longer. But in the days of the voice of the 7th angel, when he is about to sound, and then the mystery of God is finished, as he preached to his servants the prophets. Then the voice which I heard from heaven, I heard again speaking with me, saying, "Go, take the book which is open in the hand of the angel who stands on the sea and on the land." So I went to the angel, telling him to give me the little book, and he said to me, "Take it and eat it. It will make your stomach bitter, but in your mouth it will be sweet as honey." I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it, and in my mouth it was sweet as honey. And when I had eaten it, my stomach was made bitter. He threw up, and they said to me, "You must prophesy again concerning many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. He ate something and he threw up. That's the bitterness. That is the bitterness. Folks, persevere, overcome, and you will be granted the right to eat of the tree of life. I can only say to you that you may need what is in Spasm Free to survive, because it is killing viruses. Our main objective is to replace in the body what glyphosate has removed or made the body deficient of: glycine. You are going to need this. Even if you don't get it from me, get it from someone else. Get it from someone else. You need a strong, alkaline, whatever, to defeat viruses and oxygen. I'm probably saying too much. Anyway, oxygen, Monica. Oxygen. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, have a great night, and thank you so much for coming. Thank you for coming, and please consider supporting this show on PayPal. Please like, subscribe, click the bell. Also consider going to Get Spasm Free. You can try our products for free. Just pay shipping and handling, and we will see you here tomorrow. Same place, same time, yada, yada, yada.